Hello, friends. It's time for Bible on Wednesday, the 3rd of March. This is our last class of the day. Is that right? Yes, it is, because Wednesday we don't have homework. And we have been talking about the new chapter about Moses. And yesterday we did a Finding God's Promises. And today we're going to do a little character trait activity on humility. Do you know what it means to have humility? Let's see. Let's see what you got. I think we'll dedicate this one to, how about Kylie? Kylie, we're going to dedicate this special Bible class to you today. I know Kylie likes the color pink. I hope, Kylie. If not, have mom text me your favorite color. But today we're going to use pink for Kylie. And so I'll highlight this in pink. And this lesson is about humility. And Kylie does have humility. She's got a warm, kind, generous heart. So Kylie's going to help us read today's story. And then we're going to do a paper activity on it. So here we go. There it is. Humility. Okay, so let's look at what humility means when we start. Let me get some. Let's do pink for Kylie today. Here's a pretty pink. This one's nice. We use this one for Kylie today. All right, so if we look at our character trait, a character is something that you have that shows what kind of person you are, what the kind of things you value or believe in. And humility is a character trait. And humility, the definition of humility, I can make this bigger for you. The definition of humility is acting in a way that shows that I know I'm not perfect. Is God perfect? Yes. Are we perfect? No. And that's okay. That's why God loves us and takes care of us to glorify Him. But we are not perfect, and we are trying to be more like God, more godlike, and more perfect. So the laws and the words that God lays in the Bible are to help us be that, be a little bit better. Okay, and the opposite of humility is pride. That's going to be an antonym. Remember, we've talked about antonyms, meaning opposite words. All right. Let's do some humility exercises. Let's think of some situations. If a new student comes to class, here we go. How would a proud child treat the new student? How would a proud child do that? Kylie, what do you think? A proud child might turn away or not pay attention to the new student in class or not be kind to them. How about a humble person like Kylie? How would she treat a new student? She might invite that new student to sit with her at lunch or to play with her on the playground. She might talk to her and tell her she loves her and that she's glad she's here, and they may be friends. That's what a humble person, a person with humility, would do, a humble person. If you have a new toy or game and have brought it to school, how would a proud child act with that new toy? Don't touch my toy. Get away from my toy. That's mine. You might not be very kind to your friends. But how about a humble child? How would a humble child act? Humble child might say, yeah, here you go. You can share this with me. I'd like to play with it with you. If you were chosen to be the line leader or have a special job, how would a humble child and a proud child act? If you're a line leader and you're a proud child, you might push everybody else back behind you. Me, I'm first. You get back behind me. You wouldn't act very kind. A lot like bad behavior Bob is not a humble child. He's very He's very proud. Okay. How about a humble child in that line? What would the humble child do? A humble child might help somebody find their place in line. The humble child might let somebody else in line ahead of them. Humble child would just generally be kind. And the last one, if you were allowed to take the balls to the playground and choose a game, how would a humble and a proud person act? Let's say that there is a proud person and the proud person gets to choose what game. And maybe someone else says, I don't know how to play that. Can we play something else? What would the proud child do? Kylie, what do you think the proud child might do? The proud child might say, no, we're playing what I want to play. This is what we're playing, and that's it. I don't care what you want to play. What about the humble child, the child humble like Kylie? What would Kylie do in this situation? Kylie would say, sure, let's play your game for a while. Teach me how to play your game. And if you'd like to learn how to play this game, we can try that one later. She might do both things and might make the other child feel welcome and special, just like she is welcome and wonderful and special. Okay. Very good on that introduction. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a story called The Missing Tooth Fairy. We're going to do a paper activity on it, just like we usually do, where we're going to illustrate this. But for now, let's go ahead and read it. Kylie's going to help me. Ready, Kylie? Here we go. Carrie's wiggly tooth finally came out, and she could hardly wait for the visit of the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, right, scoffed Jeffrey, the boy next door. She might not come out at all. I put a tooth under my pillow more than once. Sometimes I get something, sometimes I don't. In that situation, is that boy proud or humble? Sounds pretty proud, doesn't he? Carrie gave her mom a knowing look. The Tooth Fairy always comes to our house, she declared. And she's coming tonight. She jumped up and down in excitement. That night proved to be a long one. Carrie was so excited about the tooth lying under her pillow that she just couldn't go to sleep. A tired mother checked on her around 11, but Carrie was still awake. The Tooth Fairy can't come until you're asleep, reminded Mom. Early the next morning, 5 o'clock to be exact, Carrie was at her mom's bedside. She was all smiles and happiness as she explained, Mama, I didn't look under my pillow yet. I want you to be with me when I see what the you-know-who brought me. Oh no, exclaimed Mom. Carrie, you stayed awake so long last night, I thought you would sleep late, like you usually do, and I thought the Tooth Fairy could visit you this morning. I didn't get a chance to. Oh, Carrie, I'm sorry. Carrie couldn't believe her ears. She knew who the Tooth Fairy was. That was why she was so certain that she would come. She thought her parents would never let her down. But now Mom failed her. She felt like crying. Mom saw how disappointed Carrie was and tried to comfort her. You know, I'm only a person, and no person is perfect. We all make mistakes. The only one you can always count on is God. He never fails those who depend on him. I simply can't say that about myself, Carrie, admitted Mom. But why don't you put the tooth under your pillow again tonight? I have a feeling the Tooth Fairy will come this time. Well, Carrie hesitated. She wasn't sure it would be the same. But then she smiled and nodded. Okay, but I think I'll go to bed early tonight. How about you? Have you ever been disappointed in people? Maybe your favorite teacher judged you unfairly or made a mistake and thought you might have been talking and you weren't. Perhaps mom or dad punished you when it wasn't your fault. Your best friend may have snubbed you or ignored you. You don't expect those you trust to act like that, do you? Remember, they, just like you, are subject to error. God is not. You can depend on God. Let's see. Let's go to this. I think that was a good story for today. And Kylie's going to help us set our paper up for today. Here we go. So what you need for today's lesson is your plain white piece of paper. All right. And on it, we're going to do, let me move this out of the way here so we can write. Let's get a name and a date. We're still using pink for Miss Kylie, and our name and our date. And then let's put another text box over here that says, missing tooth fairy. Missing tooth fairy. Okay, very good. Now, move it up here. And we talked about the difference between being humble and being proud. And we are not perfect. God is the only one who is perfect. So we need to remember that not only are we not perfect, but we can't expect other people to be perfect too, can we? We can't. People are people, and we don't mean to make mistakes, but we do sometimes. And that's something that we need to remember about being humble and being proud. So what I want you to do is take some of the things that you remember, a lesson that you learned from the missing tooth fairy, and I want you to draw it on this paper for today. Okay? You're doing a great job, and I will see you tomorrow for English class. Have a good night.